Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? I got a 2013 Chevy Sonic, and the customer came in complaining of overheating, smoke from underneath the hood, and a hesitation or a stutter while driving. Okay. So I went and I looked underneath the hood real quick, and it has a pretty heavy oil leak. And it's coming from what's called the oil filter cooler. It actually goes behind the exhaust manifold, so you got to take the exhaust manifold off to get to it. But I didn't see any signs of overheating, so we called her up and said, when you say it overheats, what do you mean? And she said she saw smoke, and I've run into that quite a few times in the past where people say, they see smoke and they automatically think it's overheating. It's not. I'm in Mexico here. I just want to get to a spot where I can get out of the sun. So she says when you're driving it though, it has like a hesitation or a shudder to it, and she wants to know what that is. So I'm over here, like I said, in Mexico at my testing grounds, and it's definitely a misfire. So here I have my little launch scanner, and I am on misfires. So cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accelerate up the road here, and I'm going to see if you can possibly see what's going on here. I can't get a good spot here, but you'll be able to see it afterwards. So if I brake stand it, that's like a full throttle brake stand. It won't go above 1400 RPM. And as you see, there's nothing on the graph, but let me try driving it up the road. Oh, there it goes. And you can actually see it at the very end there. Let's go back. Hold on a second. Yeah, there you see it. I'm sorry, there you see it. That's the misfire that occurred. Because as I go up the road, and as you look, you can see cylinder 4 is the one with the misfire. All the other ones, nothing's there. So it's definitely cylinder 4. All right, well, that's a good thing. That'll help me diagnose it. A situation like that where you get like that dropout, that da-da, like that, usually that's ignition. Usually, very rarely have I ever seen that be a fuel injector. I have seen it, but it's rare. Usually when it's an injector, you'll have almost like a soft hit. This is a hard hit, if you understand what I'm saying. Soft hit meaning the misfire doesn't come as abruptly as it does with a coil or an ignition wire. This thing should be a coil on plug vehicle. I'm not 100% certain, because if I'm not mistaken, this is a Daewoo, I think. I don't recall. But anyway, I'm going to head back to the shop right now. And there, it ran absolutely perfect. So unfortunately, since something like this is not a constant like misfire, it comes and goes, you kind of have to go with the best guess of what could it possibly be. And there it goes again. Just did it again. And I'm going to say it's probably a coil. It could be a plug. Could be a crack plug. If you remember that Ford Transit van that I had, that had 2 cracked plugs in it. So let's get it back to the shop. I'm going to take a look at that. Like I said, I'm pretty confident it's going to be a coil. I've seen too many of these things happen, not necessarily to these, but to any vehicle. And there, I'm going up a slight hill, and it is misfiring continuously under a light load. You should be able to see it. Yep. So, all right, let's get back to the shop. Now I switched over to a single cylinder graph. So that's for cylinder 4. As you see, it misfired quite a bit just coming over to the shop. I'm just waiting to actually pull into the shop. And just pulling off the road, you can see it misfired. So, all right, let's get in the shop. What I find pretty interesting is, considering how bad it's misfiring, DTCs, no trouble codes in this vehicle. So it's just weird that it's not hitting the parameters to actually set a misfire code. There's nothing in it anywhere. So just interesting. All right, let's see if we can't figure out what's going on. So up underneath the hood, there's this little panel. I just clipped it up, but it has a coil pack. So in a situation like this, what we're going to do is we're going to recommend a coil pack and a set of plugs, unless we see that we've changed the plugs. But we're going to recommend them. If I pull a plug out and they look good, I'm going to stick them back in. But at least this way we have the approval and we have them here, and we don't have to double back and call again, because I'm not going to pull this apart just to check a plug right now. But yeah, so let's get this going and see which way we're going to go with this vehicle. All right, so it's actually the next day. The customer decided to pull the plug on it. They've decided, because it's a lot of labor involved in changing that oil cooler. I think we're taking exhaust manifold and stuff off. So they just decided, you know what, it's time to start looking at another car, because they're going to put in X amount of money into fixing it. What's to say what's going to go wrong next? So they just decided, you know what, they got their money's worth out of the car. You know, they're just going to leave it alone at this point. So, is what it is. You know, they may decide to fix it and bring it back, but you know, for right now, they're really thinking about, hey, it's time to get another car. So anyway, you know, sometimes you get the repair, sometimes you don't. To me, it was probably worth fixing, but I can understand, you know, the dollar amount gets to a point where it's like, do I want to spend $1,000 fixing a car, or do I want to put that $1,000 into something else? I don't know. Customer's decision, not mine. All right. Well, hopefully you got something out of that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.